Chat, it's about that time. It's 2:40 p.m. Central. It's about that time. I don't know what that means. Jokes aside, chat, a lot of Rocket League went down this weekend, and we didn't get to watch it all. So I have never really done a recap like this. It's more of me reacting to the results. This is the first time we've done this. I've never really tried this out, but I think it'd be kind of cool to go back and see what happened. As you guys all know, obviously the RLCS 22-23 season is in full session, and while the NA main event was going on, the EU Qualifiers were going on, and that technically happens every week. And I was out of town. I was casting 2 events. One was a collegiate tournament, another one was the V1 broadcast, so I didn't actually get to watch EU. I've heard very minute things about it, but I haven't seen any of the results. I don't know what the heck actually happened. I don't know if like roster changes have been good or bad. I don't know what they've been, so I figured today we would explore that together. We're going to take it line by line. I have magically scrolled to round 1. I have not seen how teams do, and I figured we should check out how Europe does together. I'm kind of curious. Is the new Solary team about where we expected? Are Oxygen moving to EU going to be rewarded? Are the Monkeys going to be okay again? Is Moist with Vatira no longer being there good or bad? These are the types of things I want to figure out, because honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what to even think of what Europe's going to be. I'm still trying to wrap around my head that it literally only took one event for EU to take over top 2 in North America. Like NA, figure it out, NA. Like we were supposed to like NA depth. We've got a bunch of cool teams. The regionals are really difficult. Like there's a bunch of really awesome stuff, and literally Gen G found themselves in the grand finals after one event. So over to Europe we go. So we're gonna take a look at the results. We're gonna see how things went. And our honorary Canadians, yes, Gen G, hopefully they continue to do well. Either way, round 1, any upsets here? So Semper no longer Semper, top Lokes. They also have a completely different roster. They went up against BDS and actually went to 5. Really interesting to see there. Moist won theirs. K-Corp won theirs against Guild. Surprised Guild went as far as they did. Williams Resolve. This is the former 0-0 Nation guys, and they 3-0'd wow, a 3 over Liquid. Really? Liquid didn't make any changes. A bunch of mechanics on that team, and apparently thinking Jorby's a fake fan. Or was that Rise? No. Liquid fired their casters. Rise thinks Jorby's a fake fan. That's right. Too much drama this weekend.
This video is made possible by EU, where results don't make sense. Smile.
It's basically like, whose line is it anyway, Gizmonk? Just throw some darts. Yeah. Apparently Rise thinks that Jorby's a fake fan, and Team Liquid wants to fire their own casters. I forgot about crazy stuff in Europe this weekend. So them going 0-3. Yikers. Glad to see Oxygen. This is the Archie trio. Archie, Jorias, and Oli. Thank you. How do you think about that? Against G1. Okay, that's a former ARG team. That's Mark, Dorito, Atomic. Is it 3-0, really? 2-0, 3-2, 3-0. Dang. Okay. Shut out in 2. Interesting. EG looking really good as expected. Sonic's coming over as well. 3-1 over Solary. I mean, Solary put up a bit of a fight with 2 1-goal games, 3 1-goal games, and then a 5-1 in the end. This is Fairy Peak, Chazette, and K-Dop. Who's on Sonics again? Nobody saw those results. The Mike Boy Mets. Oh, yeah, it's the new Mets squad. That's right. That's right. So good for them. Glad they got dubs. Who's gold? Oh, that's the golden whatever the heck. That's Ixo, Cash, and Relating Wave. I actually really like this team's potential. Against Vitality, see if they keep it consistent. Oxygen beats K-Corp. Okay. EG beats BDS. That's exciting. That's really exciting to see. Metza 2-0 qualifying match. Okay. And Williams Resolve beat Moist. Really? Okay. Wow. Okay, so Williams Resolve goes up and beats Liquid and Moist, people who arguably think they're both 2 top 3, top 4 teams in the region. That's pretty exciting. Congrats to Jeff and the boys. G1 beats Guild. Makes sense. Monkeys beats Blokes. I could see it. Solary beats... Wow, that's gotta feel good. That's gotta feel amazing. How did that one go? 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Low scoring affair. Okay. Feels like a battle of mid, right? Does it really matter? That one feels like, wow, this is just for storylines, but does it really matter who wins? I feel like neither of those teams will qualify. Just me? I don't know. I'm not confident in Vitality. I think Alpha is basically rerunning the TSM situation. A little bit. And then Liquid bounces back against Heat. Okay. EG versus Sonics. EG bops Metza. Oxygen versus Williams Resolve. Oxygen's that team. Yo, Jackson chat. Jack, is Oxygen really that team? Like, Jack, have you guys... Wait, Jackson NA now. What am I doing? Jack, stop being in North America. It's weird. My brain hurts. That's a entirely different topic, but players should care about who casts their game and usually have input on these types of things. I don't understand the narrative of, oh, players should only care about playing tournaments. They're incapable of having multiple priorities. If fans blew that situation out of the proportion. Jack, I look at it two ways, objectively. Number one, players have literally no idea what goes into casting, and the only people who should be making the final decision are higher ups. If the sole reason that they were let go was due to the casters being like, or the players being like, I don't like them, it feels terrible. Do I think they should have a voice and an opinion of like, hey, if I want to have highlight clips, people, whether you like a cast or not, is usually a subjective opinion, and for them to cost them their jobs by just being like, I don't like them, is kind of weird. It's also the industry, unfortunately. Did it get blown out of proportion? 100%, without a doubt. But anytime it's kind of a controversial take, it's always going to get blown out of proportion because that's how the hive mind works. But I personally don't think that players should be the sole reason why casters get brought on or let go. But I also understand that if they're doing like interviews and stuff and the players don't like them, makes for some weird animosity. I don't know. I asked Jack a question. Doesn't matter. He doesn't play in that region anymore. So never mind. So much for that insight. But Oxygen, did they go? Did they drop 2 only? 9 and 2? Good for them. All right, Oxygen. BDS beats Monkeys only in... damn, in 5. Okay. Moist going to 5 against Solary. Liquid beating K-Corp. Makes sense in my brain. I think Team Liquid should be like 2nd overall, probably. Maybe 3rd overall. And G1 Gold. I'm glad to see Gold went to 5. I want them to be competitive. I really do. Vitality beats Guild. Not a good look for Guild. But now what? They're eliminated and they went 2 wins. So they went 2 and 9. Yikes, dude. Okay. And he beat Blokes. I mean, Heat's a pretty decent team. Metza's boys up 2-0. Now down 2 in a row. That's... Oh, no. They're going to get reverse swept in the series, aren't they? Oh, no. No, they lost by 1. Wait, Monkeys clutched up. No way. It actually happened. They finally clutched. It happened. It only took like 8 months. Williams Resolve also... Oh, no. What's going to happen to them too, didn't it? How did... Oh, my gosh. You want to talk about being unlucky? Look at the teams Williams Resolve played. Liquid, Moist, Oxygen, BDS, and K-Corp. Really? Oh, that's so unlucky. Williams run is why Swiss is bad. Swiss is the best format, period. And it's not the format's fault that BDS is going to 5 against teams when they're the #1 seed. They went to 5 against Blokes. How is that the Swiss's fault? Swiss is literally a formulaic thing. It has literally nothing to do with it. Best format, Swiss. I think any type of group into single elim is pretty hype. As long as it ends in single elim, I'm happy. But I think Swiss is goated. I love Swiss. That's so unfortunate, bro. Oh, man. Poor guys. And there's no guarantee that BDS or those... I mean, in Jack's defense, if they had groups, there was... With the seeding the way it is, a lot of those teams would be in separate groups. But, yeah. I'm actually pretty happy about the fall winter split. Winter split where they go double elim groups into single elim. I'm actually happy with. So Resolve and Sonics were both up 2-0, and then they went 3 losses in a row and got eliminated. That is heartbreaking. That is rough. Liquid went every other, it looks like. Loss, win. Well, okay. So they kind of bounced around. Man, that is so rough for Resolve. So that's the top 16 qualifier, right? So top 16 qualifier, these are your invited teams, and you guys should definitely be in here. But who do you take out? I think that's the difficulty, is I look at these results and I go, who do you take out of top 8 then? So you're going to have a bunch of teams that are in that point of contention. Let's look at close qual then. Close qual, we then look again. Okay. Scrub Killer's team goes out. 0-3, 2-9. Who's on Zoom? Jack Justos and Karsa. Okay. One Chip Army. Okay. Gross Noobs gets out. Heat gets bodied. And that's tough for them. BS Plus gets eliminated. Not too surprised there. Who's on Old Farts? Speed Tigre Yu-Gi-Oh! I should have known that. I mean, they were close. Who'd they lose to? Okay, Goldbridge. I would also give Goldbridge the nod on that. So that makes sense. Algiri's back. Good on them. They went dead even. Who did they lose to? Guild and Solar they got swept by? What the? Okay. Algiri had a Mickey run. It feels like. Feels like Algiri had a Mickey run. I haven't seen the new guild play, so I don't know. Vitality 2-3. They lost to Mets and Ars and the boys. Glad to see Mets and Ars and them still top 16. I'm a huge Mets fan, obviously, with the documentary and stuff. You guys should know that. Goldbridge Ball, good to see them clutching up. They lost to Endpoint and Solar. So Solar got some wins. Okay, so Solar made top 16. Good on them. Good for the old French heads. BS Plus, they lost to Williams Resolve. Williams Resolve 3-0. Good. I'm so happy about that. I think it's one thing to be in Williams Resolve's position, right? To go up 2-0, lose 3, have the like most ridiculously difficult run period, right? And then to still go 3-0, I'm really happy about. So I'm glad it's not like fluky or whatever. Like they are a good team. Again, don't forget, Williams Resolve, that former 0-0 Nation team with an adjustment. Endpoint also being rewarded for their pickup. Good for them. Good to see Endpoint making it back in as well. Blokes, Vitality, and Goldbridge. They beat Goldbridge in their first round. Okay. That's pretty solid. Interesting stuff. You see the contrast between that top 8 and then some of these. A team like Solar who struggled so much. Interesting stuff. They threw this series. Interesting stuff. I think you might see a little bit of contrast this season. Maybe a little bit more solidification towards the top. Maybe not as much topsy-turviness. I say that, but knowing Europe, it is whose line is it anyway? Stuff's made up. Points don't matter. It's all over the place. So, again, you never know. Because Solary looks like this down here, but then they go 3-1, and they should have beat a team like Williams Resolve, who is going the distance and playing super competitive against everybody, apparently. So, against teams like BDS and stuff. So, I'm interested to see Oxygen. I think that's what I'm probably going to do in my downtime tomorrow, is take a peek at Oxygen and see if they are really that team, because that's some big names to play as well as they did, man. It's pretty crazy stuff. So, exciting, man. Exciting stuff. I dig it. Where does that leave us for the main event then? What are our seats? So you've got round 1, Oxygen versus Sonics. That's going to be a tough one for Sonics. EG versus Algiri. EG should win. Moist versus Goldbridge. I think that'll be a lot closer than people expect. I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's Moist. No big deal. They got this. Astro's a freak. Goldbridge, I think, could probably potentially upset that. G1 over Blokes. Yes. BDS versus Guild. Guild apparently has been playing upset. Maybe it'll be a bit closer, but I think BDS should win that. You got K-Corp versus Solary. K-Corp should win. Liquid versus Resolve. Resolve could upset. And then Monkeys Endpoint. Depends on who wants to clutch. Should give it to Monkeys, but you never know. There's definitely some potential for upsets on Friday. Should be fun. Should be a really fun weekend coming up. That's what we got. That's our 16 teams. Oxygen. That's the one everybody's going to keep their eye on, I think. Obviously, they were late form. Archie and Jory's have been buddy-buddy, and we're going to see if it pays off. Obviously, don't forget Oli has some Astro-like tendencies. Very, very good, both with passing but also solo plays. So, excited to see how this one develops and play out. But, man, the Tox pickup's been pretty solid. This one's been hit and miss at times. Liquid, not as consistent as others. If you guys don't know Oli, former Heroic. Used to play for Heroic before they brought in, like, Noasaki and Yukio and all kind of stuff back, and a bunch of craziness over in Heroic with Violent Panda. But that's a good team. Good team. Should be fun to watch. And, of course, I'm going to root for these boys. That's a lot of fun. Let me know if you guys like this, where I don't know the results. I actually just go back and look and kind of have a genuine reaction to it, because I did not see any of those matches. But it gets me kind of excited. I hope you guys can kind of understand. There's obviously a lot of moving parts. A lot of these teams are going to have to develop and build, and they're going to have to kind of figure and find their way out. I mean, you look at teams like Gen G, where, again, no real practice before forming. They start getting those reps in, and all of a sudden, top 2 in NA. So who's going to be that team that upsets, surprises, and catches people off guard? I don't know who it's going to be, but as of right now, Oxygen, your number 1 seed. Pretty exciting stuff. So I am excited to figure out what the heck happens this weekend. We'll be doing watch parties for that stuff all weekend long. We've got roster videos coming out soon. We've also got tier lists and all the kind of crazy things, and I know I'm gonna get those wrong. We're gonna have to do some React Anti to stuff that at the end of this split to see how bad I get EU, but pretty crazy stuff across the board. That's gonna do it for today's video. As always, appreciate you guys all taking the time to tune in and catch up. But that does it for me. As always, comments down below, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.